Hey gorgeous souls, and welcome back to another one of my YouTube videos. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. So today's video, I asked on my Instagram, what videos would you like to see on my YouTube this autumn? And loads of you gave some flippin' fantastic suggestions, questions and topics. So of course, I'll be covering as many as I can over the next few months. But today's question comes from Vivien, and it's all about, can you be too greedy or ask too much from the universe when you're manifesting? Can you be greedy when you're manifesting? And I loved this question because I have actually been asked it quite a few times, and I think it's a great discussion topic to talk about and be like, can we be too greedy? Where are our intentions coming from? And does the universe think we're being greedy? Like, is the law of attraction something that feeds greed and feeds the ego? Or is it something that actually can come from the soul? So if you're new here to this channel, then welcome. My name is Emma. I'm an award-winning life coach, 2 times best-selling author, law of attraction YouTuber here on my channel, and I'm the host of the #1 spirituality podcast on iTunes, Spiritual Queen's Badass Podcast. And here on my channel, I cover all things law of attraction, manifestation, self-help, and spirituality. And I really hope you're going to enjoy not only this video, but the abundance of videos here on my channel over the last 8 years. So I love Vivien's question because I think we've all thought this and maybe even felt this along our manifestation journey. And as someone who teaches and lives the law of attraction, it's definitely something that I've explored. It's something that I feel very passionate about talking about. So it's great that so many people have that question as well, because when we find the law of attraction, if we start right at the beginning, when we find the law of attraction, normally it's through The Secret, normally like stereotypically, or maybe you've heard about The Secret, or maybe you've read one of my books or whatever, you've come across the law of attraction somehow. And when I came across The Secret in particular, The Secret is very positioned in a very clever way. Not so much my books, I'm more to the point and like, right, you're here to do the work as well. But The Secret specifically is positioned in a way that fuels the ego at that stage in your spiritual development or spiritual journey. And for me, when I was told, yeah, you can have like anything you want, money, cars, houses, very materialistic things, I was like, great, perfect, this is what I want. So I feel that when we reach that point, the first beginning steps of our spiritual journey, of our law of attraction journey, a lot of it does come from ego, because our ego's there. Maybe we don't even know what the inner work is. We haven't even looked at the inner work. So the ego is very much fueled at that stage. Maybe you've had a spiritual awakening. Maybe you've gone through a rough time in your life and you're looking for that relief. You're looking for something to help turn your life around. So the law of attraction comes as that stepping stone, that starting point, and that answer to the ego of, but now you can get everything that you want. So I'm not to say that's what everybody thinks. Obviously, there may be some people who find it slightly different and work more on the emotional side of things rather than the materialistic. But normally, especially with The Secret, it's very much positioned from a materialistic aspect. So then once we start manifesting and we see those materialistic things, we're like, oh my God, this works. This is fantastic. So then we ask for more, and then we ask for more. And then we're encouraged to make another vision board. And then, oh, now you need to do, your monthly goals, your yearly goals. And you're thinking, right, what do I want next? So it's almost like a kid in a candy store or a sweet shop when they walk in and they're like, oh my God, what do I want next? I want everything. I'll have some of that, some of that. So very much, I would say the beginning steps, especially for myself, and I know a lot of people as well, comes more fueled from ego, where we're then like, oh my God, I can have all this stuff. This is fantastic. The universe is just going to give me everything. Then what happens is the universe is like, right, now I've got your attention. What we really want to focus on, what this journey is actually really about, is more than just the law of attraction. There's 7 energetic laws of the universe, and actually we need to focus on more than the law of attraction and take this deeper. And if you actually really want to manifest your desires, then you need to work with all the energetic laws and expand your awareness from just the law of attraction and look into spirituality, heal yourself, come back into one with yourself, and that's how you truly manifest. So I feel like there's this shift that happens, and then when that shift happens, the shift goes from ego to soul, where then you're coming from a totally different space. And I was interviewed on a podcast really recently, which I've put here on my YouTube playlist under interviews, with the wonderful Bible, and we were talking about this, where he actually said, you know, when you manifest from a wounded place, you're manifesting things that actually you don't really want, but you think you want at the time. And then when you heal yourself and you connect back to yourself and connect back to your soul, you want very different things, and you manifest from a very different space, and you want very different things at that stage. And this is so true. After doing years of inner work and going on deep, deep healing journeys within myself, within my own journey, I can absolutely say that's true, that what I wanted 4 or 5 years ago is completely different to what I want now, because I'm a total different person, and I've grown, I've evolved, I do lots of different things now. My business has grown and evolved as well. So it's really interesting how our manifestations and wants and desires shift as well when we do that inner work, when we come back to ourselves and actually, you know, we're coming from that soul rather than that ego place. So that's why I think greed can exist with manifestation. When people stay stuck in the ego space of law of attraction, where it's more selfish manifesting. And let me identify selfish manifesting before people are like, what? Selfish manifesting, Emma? What are you on about? I feel like when people come from the selfish manifesting space, yes, definitely greed can exist. Not that I think the universe thinks you're asking for too much, but there will be lessons with that attitude and that energy. Whereas when we're selfless manifesting, and that's not to say that you don't want things for yourself as well. Again, I'm going to explain the difference between the two. I feel like the energy is so different, and that because the universe is an unlimited resource of abundance and love, unconditional love, that nothing is too much for the universe. Is whether it's too much for you, really. The reflection is back to yourself of, is it too much for you, rather than the universe. The universe isn't saying, oh, sorry, Karen, you've asked for 32 things this month. That 33rd thing, absolutely not. That's not how the universe works. But actually, it's your energy. The universe isn't this... I mean, it could be a benevolent being that sat there with a big list of, right, shall we give Sam this manifestation? Shall we give Jack this manifestation? It's not like that at all. It's all energy. Our energy attracts those things into our reality. And of course we have soul contracts. Of course there are bigger things in play here that do influence and dictate our manifestations to some degree as well. So there's a lot of complexities within the universe, which I'm sure none of us are going to know the full depth of in our lifetime here on Earth, but we can start to understand it a little bit more with the 7 laws of the universe and learning more about alignment and energy. So what do I mean by selfish manifesting and selfless manifesting? So this was something that was very much part of my healing journey that I've written about in my new book, Hurt, Healing, Healed, that is out very, very soon. And I spoke about, within the book, my journey with identifying why I was manifesting something. So obviously in the beginning, it's very much like I want it because it would help me out. I want it because, you know, it would feel good, whatever. But ultimately now my manifestations come from a space of, how is this positively impacting the collective? So instead of what I can get and what I can gain from a manifestation, it's how is that a knock-on positive effect for not just myself, but the collective as well? Why do I actually want to manifest that thing? Because, you know, in the law of attraction sphere, it's very much like manifest 10 million pounds, like set your goals higher. And I'm all here for that. Absolutely, of course. But I say to my clients who come to me and say like, oh yeah, I'm manifesting £1 million lottery win. I'm like, okay, great. Why do you, like, I generally ask them, like, what would you do with that money? Why would you like to manifest that? oh, I don't know, someone just told me to manifest it and I just kind of feel like that would be cool. And I'm like, okay, can you see how the lack of clarity is maybe reflected back to you right now with the lack of the manifestation there? So when we're manifesting large amounts of money, we need to know what we're going to do with that money. Why do you need that money? Like, be real. Why do you need that money? Is it to buy a house? Is it to have financial freedom? Is it to have financial freedom and be able to help other people? Is it to be able to help your local community? Is it be able to donate to causes? Is it to be able to positively impact your family's life or your loved one's life as well? So think outside the box when you're manifesting, especially those big manifestations, but especially the small ones as well. How is it positively impacting the collective? Because so many people put these huge money goals on their vision boards, and I'm all here for it, because the more money that is in positive light workers' hands, the more good that is going to be done with that, absolutely. And the energy and the vibration of money can shift. But if you're not going to do good with that money, or it's just going to sit there and you don't really know what you would do with it, what is the purpose of you manifesting that? What is the point of you manifesting it? So I feel like selfish manifesting comes from what I can gain. Like, what can I gain? What can I get from this? This is just for me. Selfless manifesting is very much the energy and notion of, how can, yes, my life be positively impacted by this, but how can everybody else be positively impacted by it? So say, for instance, I don't know, you want to manifest some money to buy a house. And then when you buy the house, the family or the people who are living in the house you're buying are going to obviously sell their house. They're going to then get the house that they want to buy as well. So you're also helping a family or a couple or whoever be able to move into their dream home and to have money to be able to achieve their goals. So your money is then positively impacting somebody else. So look at the chain as such. Look at how, manifesting the money to buy that moon shelf off Etsy, that's going to go to someone's small business that's going to help to pay their bills, and that's going to be their manifestation and how they're able to grow their business as such. So not always will every manifestation be directly impacting somebody else, but think about how it can positively impact, yes, your life, but also other people's life as well. And think about, what is the point of you manifesting that? What is the purpose of you manifesting that? What is it going to do or bring to you and everybody else's life? So when you think about that, and when you have clarity on that, you're selflessly manifesting, because you're not manifesting from a space of ego, you're manifesting from a space of soul. And that means the manifestation is so much more aligned, so much more soul and heart-centered, rather than that materialistic grab energy. And I feel like as you go along your manifestation journey, as you grow and evolve and you do the inner work and you selflessly manifest and you think more consciously about these things, you tend to actually not need as much as well. And like I said, what you want changes massively, because you're a different person. You're in that healed, centered, integrated space, rather in that starting point of lack and want and that ego space of, oh, let's have everything sort of thing. So what I'm trying to say is, it's not wrong to want many things, definitely not, but think about why do you want to manifest these things? So go through your vision boards, go through your list, go through your yearly goals, whatever you've got, and go through each one and think, okay, why do I actually want to manifest that? What is the purpose of that? What is the point of manifesting that? Is this actually a goal that is so like a hell yes? Or is this something that I've put on here because I feel like I should have put it on here, or everybody else is aiming for that? Or actually, maybe I've outgrown that goal. Maybe that doesn't feel aligned anymore. And if something doesn't feel aligned, you can, cross it out on your list. You can, set an intention that you're clearing and transmuting that, and maybe you want to set a new intention, a slightly more up-leveled intention, instead of completely writing it off. And you can change that and write it down, or whatever tool or practice you're using to reset that manifestation. Or maybe you want to redo your vision board altogether. Maybe that vision board you did 6 years ago doesn't feel in alignment anymore and isn't quite accurate to your wants here and now. So you can redo vision boards, you can redo things. And that is, I think, the natural process of manifestation, that actually the more we go along our journey, we realize what actually our souls and hearts do want rather than what the ego wants. And it's definitely not wrong what the ego wants, definitely not. But it's, again, just actually looking at what's at the core of that manifestation, what's at the core of that intention, and why are we manifesting that? So moving on then, now we've spoken about the greed aspect, because again, it's all about the intention. It's not about how much you're asking for, it's the intention behind it, of why and what is the point and purpose of this, and how's it going to positively impact the collective as well, and what would you do with that money, what would you do with whatever it is that you are manifesting. So when we talk about, are we asking too much of the universe, like I said, the universe is almost like, hun, you're fine. This is on you. So when you think you're asking too much of the universe, it's feeling too much to you, essentially, because the universe is just reflecting it back to you and saying, does that feel good? Is this what you want? Like, you're showing up to the mirror, like, we're reflecting back that energy you're giving us, sort of thing. So when you feel that you're asking for too much, I also want to put in here, are you asking for too much, or do you need to work on self-worth? Are you asking for too much, or do you not feel worthy of those desires and having an abundance of things? So there's a really important question to ask yourself first and foremost, to identify whether it's actually a self-worth or feeling worthy of those things issue first. But if you are like, yeah, I do feel worthy of this, but I actually just think I'm being a bit rude and asking for too much, then break it down, because at the end of the day, you need to feel in alignment with it. Your energy is what manifests those desires. So if it's feeling too much for you, it's probably feeling overwhelming. Maybe you're doing too many practices, or you're asking for too many things, and it's hard to focus your energy on so many different areas, and give equal energy to each and focus on each one, and, you know, give your all to each manifestation. So there's also that element as well of overwhelm, and actually simplifying the process so that you're doing less but attracting more. This has been my mantra for the last couple of years. It's the mantra that features heavily in Hurt, Healing, Healed, of doing less attracts more. Because when we overcomplicate the process, again, I use this analogy basically in like every YouTube video, but I'm going to say it again. When you've got a cluttered living room, you've got no space to put that new lamp in your living room. You want to buy it, but there's no space. So how can you appreciate that lamp? How can you appreciate your new thing that you want to put in your living room if the living room is full of clutter and full of chaos, and you can't see the floor, and you feel stressed every time you walk into that living room? But when you have a clear living room and you create the space and maybe say, right, if I want to buy that lamp, I'm going to get rid of this other lamp and give it to charity or sell it, whatever, because actually I really prefer this lamp. I want that new energy in here. You have the space and the energy to bring that new lamp in, right? Because you've created the space. So don't underestimate the power of less, because the power of less, whether it's less things you're focusing on, less things you're doing each day for your spiritual practice, if you're feeling overwhelmed and things are feeling too much, less equals more sometimes. And co-creation here, the universe wants you to meet it halfway, and the universe is going to meet you at 50% as well. So not 90-10, not 10-90, 50-50. So sometimes taking that step back, especially in this autumn energy, taking that step back, letting go, allowing the universe to meet you halfway can be the very, very thing that needs to happen, because sometimes we can do too much. Absolutely. So that too much energy, no matter how it's showing up to you, whether it's self-worth and that's what needs to be worked on, or things are feeling like you're asking for too much, maybe this is the universe just showing you that actually simplify it. Take the pressure off yourself, simplify things, and let things unfold as they're meant to. And you can always work on the next manifestation or whatever, whenever, you know, you feel called to. And I think another great aspect to bring into this video, when we're talking about, are we asking for too much? Are we too greedy with manifestation? Is actually manic manifesting as well, which I'm going to do a video on soon. I've done a recent podcast on this after a great question of what's the difference between manic manifesting and receiving, like being ready to receive. So do go and have a listen to that podcast episode. The link is below if you want to explore a little bit more about that topic. But how does manic manifesting then come into greed, essentially? So I think the energies are different. I don't feel that when we manic manifest, we're necessarily greedy. I feel like it's actually just a chaotic energy of control and attachment and feeling like, right, what can I fill my life with next? Okay, so to avoid the inner work, I'm just going to fill my life with this. Now I'm manifesting this. Now I'm getting all these things and just ignoring that feeling. So I don't think that's greed. I think that comes from a place of lack. And I think manic manifesting comes from a place of there's something within us that we're trying to fill, which isn't being filled with the outer expression of that manifestation or thing in your life. Again, a journey that I went on with Hurt, Healing, Healed, of healing that manic manifesting tendencies, dealing with the inner world and the inner work, so that when you come from a place of wholeness and a place of peace and fulfillment, needing nothing attracts everything, because you get to a space where you're like, okay, that would be great, and I'm still going to consciously create my reality. I'm still going to consciously put intentions out there, but I'm not going to fixate. I'm not going to control. I'm not going to come from a space of I need this. It comes from a space of I relax, I let go. And a lot of that does come with time. And I say to people, remember, I've been doing this for over like 6 years now. So my level of belief with manifestation is going to be much higher than someone who's literally just started out, because obviously I've got 6 years of evidence, 6 years of proof, 6 years of manifestations behind me where my brain, my subconscious is like, right, this works. We have evidential proof that we are manifesting. So there's also that element with the belief side of things, of your belief does naturally grow and cement in as well with time and with the visual evidence of manifestation in your life. So I love that question, Vivien. Thank you for asking it, because I think so many people probably have that on their mind of, am I asking for too much? Is this greedy? Can greed exist in the law of attraction? And just like anything, the law of polarity exists. So absolutely, where there's incredible light and love that's shone into the law of attraction, of course there's going to be elements of greed and the polarity there for us to transmute and learn from. So catch yourself with it, definitely. And I think you'll know whether you're coming from that heart-centered place of intention and the purpose of why you're manifesting. You're going to know how it feels to you. You're going to know what end of the scale that feels like to you, and you can absolutely shift that as well. So please go try that. Look through your vision boards, your lists, whatever you've set your goals list, and look and think about, what is the purpose? What is the point of each manifestation? How is this positively going to impact not only yourself, but the collective? What is the ripple impact effect with it? And when you know that, manifestation changes, because then you're not just manifesting for yourself, you're manifesting for others as well. Even if it's not directly manifesting for others, that others element is in there as well, which changes the whole game. But I really hope this has helped. I really hope that's answered your question, Vivien, and hopefully anybody else's questions they had out there on this topic. And I think it's a great topic to discuss, because I think, we've all felt it along our journey and questioned whether we feel it's too much, or are we asking for too much? Are we greedy for asking? And it all comes from how you set those intentions and what your motives and intentions are behind that desire, definitely. But thank you so much, guys, for watching. I appreciate all your views and likes. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, because I would love to see you again soon. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comments box down below, because I reply to them all. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think manifestation is greedy? Have you felt elements of greed or too much throughout your manifestation journey? Let me know your thoughts below. I would love to hear them and hear what you think. Don't forget, you can also join my free Law of Attraction support group over on Facebook, where you can join myself and other like-minded souls, where we talk all things Law of Attraction and spirituality. I hope you have a fantastic week, whatever you are up to, and I will see you all in my next video, which will be on Friday. Lots of love.